Hi, I'm Heather and welcome back to Cooking with the Tacnas. Today we are going to make one of our holiday favorites, buckeyes. This is something I joke with my brother about because his family consumes them. So I told him he got one for himself and then each child gets one. And that is it.
Right. One time, I remember that one time we left the whole pan in the garage and I went out to get the pan and they were
gone because the kids had gone out one at a time and taken multiple buckeyes. So we hide them now. We actually make a double batch and we hide half of them so that they can't find them. So anyway, this is a double batch. It's really, really easy to make and it is totally unhealthy and it's worth every bite. So here we go. So it's 2 sticks of melted butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 pounds, 8 ounces of creamy peanut butter. You can also make it with crunchy peanut butter, but we have found that messes with the consistency of the balls when you're trying to squeeze them together, so we really prefer creamy, but you can do it with either. This is something you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. So once I get all the ingredients in here, I gotta stick my hands in here after Mark adds all of the Rice Krispies.
Oh, I should probably take my ring off.
You should take your ring off. I took mine off already. 2 pounds of powdered sugar. You just buy a 2-pound bag. So in the beginning, when you're mixing this up, it can get really, really powdery because all that powdered sugar's in there. So just be really careful when you're stirring it up. You're kind of folding it together. And then once you get things kind of mixed in, you can stick your hands in there and start mixing it with your hands and things go a lot faster that way. But the initial stirring, use this or you'll get your hands down in all that butter and it'll get really nasty.
So I think the Native Americans saw the buckeye tree and the nut looks like this buckeye and they named it a buckeye.
Oh, okay.
And then
some lady in the 1960s came up with putting it together.
I think in Ohio was wanting to cover peanut butter with chocolate and she came up with this recipe and named it Buckeye after
because of what it looks like.
Yeah. And coincidentally, I think the Buckeye tree is also the Ohio state tree.
So now we're going to add in 6 cups of Rice Krispies. So 1 cup at a time. Mark's going to scoop them in, you mix them up, and then you just start blending them. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to just dump it all in at one time. It doesn't work great that way.
You'll get a big blob of Rice Krispies in the middle of everything. So we've got 2 cookie sheets lined with aluminum foil, and we're going to make these into little balls and stick them in the freezer. It's always best to have several people helping you with this. The whole many hands make light work. It's very true when it comes to making the buckeye. Okay, here we go. The buckeye ball creation has begun.
So how big are we supposed to make them?
So typically about like this. And you want to squeeze it in your hand to make sure they stick together.
So a little smaller than a ping pong ball.
Yeah, about like that.
About the size of a ping pong ball.
About the size of a ping pong ball. Maybe that's a little bit smaller than that, but
like an eyeball. It's
obviously
supposed to be an eye.
They're not going to all be the exact same size. My brother has always been determined to make these, and the first time he ever made them, he likes to make things really healthy. So he didn't put butter in it. I think he just made peanut butter balls. He didn't have Rice Krispies. He didn't have powdered sugar because he was worried about all the sugar. So basically he made peanut butter balls, and his family was horrified. And then the next time he tried to make them, he put a ton of powdered sugar in them, and they were like powdered sugar balls, and they were, no kidding, this big.
Like a softball.
Like a softball. And
hard as a rock.
Every time I'm just like, Wyatt, why don't you use the recipe that we make? Because you love those things.
And they were passing it around like the dinner table. Everyone like wanting to take a bite of it. And I was like, pass.
Which is horrifying. Yeah. See, I'm already making them bigger than they should be.
Oh no.
I need to come down a bit.
So we are going to just make all these and it's going to take a little while.
We have created the buckeye balls. We're going to put them into the freezer now, freeze them for about 3 or 4 hours. And like I said before, you can also stick them in the refrigerator and refrigerate them overnight. The whole point is to make them solid enough so that when you dunk them in the hot chocolate that we're going to melt here in a few hours, they don't fall apart. So we'll see
And
in
we're
a
going to
couple
use
hours.
a toothpick.
Yes, well, obviously you're not going to use your fingers.
Yeah, we're going to show you all that. All right.
Okay, we'll be back. We let the peanut butter balls, the Buckeyes, freeze overnight because we got tired yesterday. So they've been in the freezer for hours and hours and hours, and we are ready to start. Go ahead.
What we have in here is 1 bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and we put in
About 2 teaspoons of shortening.
We used to use golf wax, paraffin golf wax, which has always been great, and that's the Tacna family original recipe. But people just get freaked out.
Yeah, they're like, there's golf wax in your chocolate.
There's
I'm like,
wax.
"It is."
It's like, yeah, it's fine.
It
And
tastes fine. It's tasteless, actually.
And what the golf wax did was it thins out the chocolate, makes it a little last longer, makes it a little shiny, and makes it all in all a better looking cookie. But I guess, what are we putting in this? The shortening does the same thing. So we're using shortening. Okay, we are finished with the Buckeyes. They look pretty good. I mean, they're not a professional made.
They're going to taste delicious.
They are going to taste delicious, and that's what counts. It's all homemade
Yeah,
stuff,
'cause
so
your stomach doesn't care what things look like.
right. And we had to go fast because the peanut butter was actually starting to get soft.
Yeah.
So we had to go really quick on it. But Buckeyes are absolutely delicious, and they're perfect for any holiday meal, really. Anything else?
Nope, they're sugar bombs, so be aware of that.
That's right. And they'll be eaten very, very quickly.
Yes.
So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe, like, and ring that bell for future notifications.
Happy holidays, everyone.